Okay, so here's how you use, or how you can sort of create a faux fluid grid layout. It doesn't behave exactly as a fluid grid, but it's going to look very similar to it. And in fact, on mobile devices, it doesn't really matter because each device is going to be how wide it is, and the fluid grid action isn't apparent in a mobile device anyway. So anyway, we come over here. We're going to create a custom template, and then we're going to configure it in a way that makes it so that you can apply match height to it. And we're going to do that here. We'll come over to the dashboard and down to thesis and skin editor. And then click the home template or the template name to get the template menu. Add a new custom template. We'll call it Faux Fluid Grid. And then click the template name again to bring up the template menu, and then select the template that we want to copy from. And we are going to, let's see, what are we going to do? Well, we may as well just copy it from the fluid grid full width. So we'll go ahead and copy that template into it. Okay, now here we have, it's in a one column content with stuff going on. Instead of that, we are going to create our own, we're going to create a new column layout, which in this case, this is an Agility Easy Responsive column section. So we're going to create a new one of those. I'm down here to Agility Easy Responsive column section. And we're going to call this, typical 3-column layout. Three-column layout. It's going to be 3 columns equally sized. Column wrapper will be div. We'll still call this a content area for the ID. That's what it's taking the place of. We don't need any class. We are going to add the area wrapper. Pardon me, that's what needs to go there, not column wrapper. It comes down here to area wrapper. I'm not going to add another one. We're not going to add an overlay, and we're not going to remove the page wrapper. So this is good all by its lonesome, just like that. And we'll come over here and shift drag this up into HTML body, and then drag it down below the top menu. Now, we are going to take these columns away entirely, actually. But we will take archive content, shift drag, archive content and archive title, and drop them up here in this 3-column section. And we will take post navigation up here and drop that down also. And then we can just shift drag column 1 content and drop it in this gray area. Don't drop it in the pink area, or it'll delete it from the whole site, and that is being used in several places. So, okay, so we've got title and content and navigation. Now what we need to do is create a new post box. And Agility comes with some pre-configured post boxes, But we are not going to use any of those because their styles, automatic styles, get in the way of what we want to do. So we're going to use the generic thesis post box. And the generic thesis post box in Agility does have a bunch of extra tools in it anyway, but we'll use the generic post box, and we're going to call this, what is it? Faux fluid grid post box. And now, in terms of our class, we are going to add 1/3 to that. And in this case, we do have to specify a schema. We're going to go ahead and keep with article as our schema here. In this case, normally you don't have to specify a schema in Agility except on the pages, but this is a little old school. So we're going to shift drag that into column layout and drop it below archive title and archive content. And then we're going to configure what goes in the post box. And we're not going to use the content. We're not going to use the author or edit. We're not going to use the author. But we are going to use, let's see, we're not going to use excerpt. We're going to use WP featured image, read more, and extended excerpt. And a WP featured image goes to the top, extended excerpt goes under the headline. WP featured image is not going to be full size, but it'll be Agility featured page, and it'll be centered with no wrap, and we'll link it to the post. The headline will be an H2, and we'll also link it to the post. Everything else is going to be just fine as it is for the moment. I think we have what we need, so we're going to save that. Then we'll come back over here to posts and categories. And then down to our, let's see, menu category. So we'll edit the menu category, which then lets us choose our template. This used to be full grid. Well, in fact, why don't we just do one that way? We'll view this category as full grid, or full fluid grid, right? That's what it looks like when it's full fluid grid. And then we'll do another one with our new one, which is the faux fluid grid. And update that. And then we will view the category. Okay. Oh, we haven't just. Oh, we don't have a WP loop in here. My mistake. We need WP loop, right? What happened to WP loop? Okay, it's down here. We need to drop that into column 3 layout, and then the grid post box goes into WP loop. Save that template. Okay, there we go. Now we have 3 of them stretched across here. Now we have not yet set up, we haven't set up match height yet, actually. So let's come over here to match, or come over here to our faux fluid grid setup here. WP loop, we're showing 9. Okay. Match height, we're going to say dot headline, and then comma, and dot post underscore excerpt. So that's our match height. And if we want this text to be bigger, right, you can see how big it is here. If we want this text to be automatically bigger, then we can wrap that in an HTML box, just a standard HTML box or HTML container. We'll call it full container because we are going to give it the class of full. Bring it over here, drop it into that. Save our template. Now we'll reload our template. There we go. So now the text is that full width. And yet, this pretty much works, except that I think this style is too big, and we need space between these things. So the next thing we're going to do then is come over to our skin editor. No, I'm sorry, skin design. And we're going to use a custom text area. And that custom text area, we'll use custom text area. Well, since you can't see custom text area 1 here on the video, maybe if I drop that down. Yeah, okay. We're going to use headings. And we'll use a 24 font size heading there. And while we're looking at this, you know, we need to add this class, custom-1, in order for this to work. And so we'll save those options. We'll come back over to the skin editor. We'll come down to the fluid box here, and we're going to add another class, which is going to be custom-1. And then, let's see. Make sure I've got my inspect element on here so I don't have. Okay, so now we are dropped down like that. Now, obviously, we've got a bunch of white space above this, so I'm going to reduce the top margin or padding, or what I think it's padding. So we'll come over here again to our custom-1 headings and scroll down to, well, it must be margin. Scroll down to this and say our top margin is just, what, 15 px, which is the same size as our font. What's that? Yeah, okay, that's a little bit better. And then we want a bunch of margin below each one of these things so these things don't overlap like this. So that is going to be in the backgrounds. So custom text area 1 background. And we're just going to customize the margin. And the bottom margin, let's call it 45 px. And we'll save that. Okay, there we go. Now, everything lines up nicely. All right. So that's how I would do all of that. If you don't like this font size, you can, increase it or decrease it or whatever. Obviously, you can play with the font sizes simply based on those custom one areas, right? Headings, background, text, links, lists, subheadings, so on and so forth. So you got plenty of control over this. Plus, if you feel like something needs to change in a mobile view, you can change those here. Hopefully that helps.